Wonder if it starts with right in. Like if it's scheduled, if it doesn't start. Oh, there we go. Good afternoon, Falcon parents. We are so glad that you were able to tune in for this webinar today. BGSU Parent and Family Programs has partnered with the Learning Commons, and with us today we have Mark Nelson, who is the director of the Learning Commons. He has been working with the Learning Commons here at BGSU since December of 2010. And he also has 2 degrees from BGSU, a bachelor's in social work and a master's in rehabilitation counseling. Additionally, Mark has 2 children currently attending BGSU and has a great perspective as a BGSU alum, employee, and parent. During today's webinar, Mark will be giving an overview of the various programs offered at the Learning Commons, such as math and statistics tutoring, writing support, subject tutoring, academic coaching, and other services geared to assist students in being academically successful at BGSU. If you are tuning in live, on the right side of the video on the YouTube page, there is an area for comments and questions. So if you type those in there during the course of the webinar, we will be sure to answer your questions by the end of the session.
Thank you, Morgan. Again, my name is Mark Nelson, and I hope this Prezi doesn't make you seasick. Some people do get a little woozy at times, so I'll try to go through slow so you don't have those kind of issues. But welcome to the Parents webinar and to the Learning Commons. And I just wanted to start with a brief history of the Learning Commons, just to give you some background. This is our 3rd year of operation. Prior to the Learning Commons, the campus had separate writing centers, math and stats tutor lab, and a study skills center, and the administration on campus decided to consolidate those into one area, make it more of a one-stop location for students, and chose a spot that made sense, which is the first floor of the Jerome Library, where academic learning takes place. So when I arrived 3 years ago, we helped carve out that space on the first floor of the Jerome Library, and worked with the architect to design the space, and also the faculty and staff within the library, because we were kind of at that time intruding on their space, because we actually reported outside of the library, but currently as of this year we now report under the library, which is a great relationship. So I just want to give you that feedback and overview, and also mention that we started expanding our tutor offerings. We hired a tutor coordinator, so now we went from 3 coordinators of those different areas to 4 by adding a tutor coordinator, and that was really driven by campus and the goal to offer tutoring basically for any subject students that come to BGSU request, and we've been able to do so through the 3 years we've been here, and it's been very successful. But in doing so, and moving here to the library, we also expanded our days of service and our hours. Prior to the Learning Commons, it was mainly 8 to 5 office hours. We've expanded now till 10 p.m. on Monday through Thursday, and also Sunday evenings 6 to 10 p.m. So we've expanded our hours quite substantially. Also, as I mentioned, the expanded tutoring services. By bringing in the tutor coordinator, we've also been able to become a internationally certified learning center through the College Reading and Learning Association, something that we're very proud of, and it's something that I'll go into a little bit later about, but it's been a great experience for our tutors because they get additional tutor training and also something to help them with their future careers and building their resume. And if you haven't been to our website, there's the link there. If we have time at the end, I'll take you through a few links that I think are important for our website. And then we also have Facebook. If you're on Facebook, which I assume you're on the parents page, and that's how you learned about this, you can also like our site as well. It's just BGSU, the Learning Commons. And you may have noticed we do post some things that we think are pertinent to parents, events and whatnot on the parents page. So we are pretty active on Facebook as well. If you haven't been to our space, I'll give you a quick rundown of what we have here to offer. We do have 28 desktop computers in our space, and also 22 laptop computers that students can use while they're in our space. They can't leave the library, but they can take them outside of our area and anywhere within the library and check them out for as long as they want during that day, or as long as they're in the library. We also offer calculators. We have 40 calculators at our front desk that students can check out. That is actually a 24-hour loan as well, so students can take those out of the building. But some students may not have a calculator, so they come in here and can use the calculator while they're working with our tutors. Some have come in and said, I lost my calculator, I have an exam tonight, and they check one out and bring it back the next day. So please let your students know that. And then to give you a feel for our numbers of students, last fall we had 3,654 students that came to the Learning Commons. So pretty close to almost 1 in 4 students on campus come through. And also let you know, we track the students' traffic and usage through their BG1 card. So when they come to our front check-in desk, we have them swipe in with the card swiper, and then when they leave, they swipe out. So that way we can monitor traffic and how long students are here and what services they're using, so we can make sure we're staffing appropriately. But those 3,654 students came a total of 26,586 times last year. So they're coming multiple times, not just once or twice. We do have those, but we see students that come 30, 40, or 50 times in a semester through our office to work with tutors. And another thing we try to get out there, the last 2 bullet points here about students' GPAs, because we do look at data after each semester and the students that do come here, and we try to get the word out that good students are using our services. It's not just someplace you come as a last-ditch effort, if you're failing or struggling, but we have 49% of the students that used our services last fall had over a 3.0 GPA, and 73% of those students, those 3,654 students, had over a 2.5 GPA. So we're trying to, I guess, erase the stigma that some students may have that, oh, I can't go there, I'll be embarrassed, I don't want to go and talk to someone about my subjects and not doing well. But we want them to know that you come here to maintain a good GPA and even get an increased GPA. So please try to push that with your students as well. And I'll talk about some of our services. I'll start with math and stats tutoring. And this is one of our busiest services. And we offer drop-in tutoring for all hours of our operation. And what that is, we have actually a computer lab, small computer lab with 20 of our computers, which is primarily where our math and stats tutoring takes place. So students can come in any hour that we're open. They check in at our front desk, and they'll be directed over to the math lab, the computer lab, and we have that staffed with anywhere from 3 to 5 or sometimes 7 math tutors that are there to work with the students. And we see a lot of students that come with classmates. A lot come right after their class, so the material's fresh in their minds. But they can sit there and study, and when they have questions, they just raise their hand, and the tutor will come over and work with them. So it's a pretty laid-back area. It's not so busy that students don't feel like they can't get the help. They all get one-on-one individual help with those tutors. They just simply have to raise their hand and ask for questions. We also offer study groups for math, and we do this for students that would like to set up a weekly group with other classmates. So if they have a friend or someone within the same class, they can come in, they'll work in a small group with the math tutor or the stats tutor. And it is a commitment that we do ask that if it's scheduled, that they make a commitment to come every week because we are paying that tutor to be there. But our study groups have been really successful in our subject areas, and we expanded this into the math because some students want to get together with classmates and work in a more intimate group with the tutor, and also maintain that regular study basis by coming in and working together. And also, one thing to know, the math courses that we do tutor go all the way through calculus, and actually on case by case we've offered beyond calculus other courses on a as needed basis. But just another thing to the word we try to spread is that we're not here just for lower level math or developmental math. We can tutor all the way through calculus and beyond. And also stats courses through the 2000 level and beyond, case by case again. If students have an upper level 3000 or 4000 level course, we'll try to work with them with our tutoring as well. And then we also have a limited number of textbooks in our space we get from the math department. So students that may have lost their textbook or don't have a textbook to use, they can come in, check it out at our front desk, and use that while they're in our space as well. We also offer study skills, and this, as I mentioned, was one of the previous programs that was on campus that was moved over into the Learning Commons. And our coordinator, her name is Sally Dreyer, and she works with students individually who make appointments to learn more effective study skills, time management skills, test-taking strategies, note-taking skills, etc. So Sally is available for individual sessions with students. She's been here, gosh, I want to say 14 years now at BGSU. Really knows her stuff and is great with students. So please encourage any of your students to come in and work with Sally, or even some of our graduate assistants that work under Sally in the area of study skills. And we also teach a course in the fall primarily. It's called ACEN 1000, Academic Enhancement 1000. It's college reading and study skills. We do teach one section generally in the spring semester, but it's a 4-credit class. It's 2 credits and helps students with general study skills, reading comprehension, and note-taking skills, etc., to help them be a successful college student. Another area in our study skills area is the supplemental instruction and also learning assistance. And those programs are really to support large lecture and or historically challenging courses. And I'll show you later on our webpage where the supplemental instruction course offerings are. We have 23 courses right now that we offer supplemental instruction. And what that is, it's a national program. It's been offered at BGSU for years and years, but really it's working closely with the faculty member. We look at, again, historically challenging courses, courses that students aren't as successful. There's a high rate of failure, D, or withdrawals from those courses. And we work with that faculty member. We identify a student who's taken the course previously that they recommend, a student that has done very well, and then we hire them as a supplemental instruction leader. And they actually sit back through the class. They get introduced while they're in the class as the SI leader, and they hold study sessions, review sessions outside of the class, generally 3 times a week, and those dates and times and locations are on our webpage, but they also announce that within the class. So some of your students may be in some of the classes that offer supplemental instruction, so you could have them check into that and take advantage of it, because what our data shows, and nationally it shows that students that go to supplemental instruction generally have half a grade higher than students in the same class that did not go to the supplemental instruction section. So it's very popular and very productive way to get students to understand the knowledge. And also, it's not a replacement for lectures, and we tell students you can't just go to your SI sessions and blow off the classes. The SI leader, for one, will know because you're not in the class because they're sitting in the class. But also, they do a lot of just discussions and having the students really carry the study session. They'll do activities, etc. But it's not just a total reteaching of the lectures from that day or that week. And I mentioned also the learning assistants. This is a program we started 3 years ago, and it's run out of the provost office now, but it again is for a lot of the larger lecture courses on campus. Learning assistants are students, again, like the SI leaders that have taken the class, have done well. They work actually in the classroom in more of an active learning setting, so they'll be in small groups with students within the class. They help the faculty member run activities, so it's really the large collaborative learning classrooms that the learning assistants are helping to support. And then they also offer review sessions and study sessions in our area of the Learning Commons, generally before exams and whatnot. Next is subject tutoring. As I mentioned, we expanded the offerings for subject tutoring. Donna Dick is our tutor coordinator. We have drop-in and individual tutoring in virtually any subject taught at BGSU. Again, the drop-in hours, I can show you this later on our webpage. They're posted hours that we staff our study cubicles with tutors for certain subjects, so students can come at any time during those hours and work with the tutor, because they'll be available during certain times. If they would like individual tutoring, they can request that simply by filling out a form, which is an online form on our webpage, which I can show you also. But real simple, and we generally get back with them within 24 hours and notify them of tutor offerings for their course that they're requesting. The drop-in schedules I mentioned are on our webpage. We update them often, so we try to encourage students to keep checking back because we're continually updating subjects and additional courses and tutors throughout the semester. Again, individual and group study sessions can be requested. The group study sessions are similar to the ones I mentioned with the math group study sessions, where students will come in with a classmate, and the groups are generally limited to 3, maybe 4 students, so it's a small group, but they're in with a tutor that's taken that course. Most of our tutors have received an A in the courses they tutor, but the nice thing about the study groups also is we match them up most of the times with a tutor that has not only taken the course, but they've taken it from the same professor or instructor, so they know the style that the course is, how it's being taught, and the requirements, because they've actually taken it from the same faculty member. You could have Intro to Sociology, 5 different sections taught by 5 different professors, and they're all taught differently, so it really helps when we can match up students with a tutor that's actually taken the course from the same professor. And also, we do have our online website, but they can also email our office, call us, or just come in person, and we'll get them set up with individual tutoring or show them about how the drop-in tutoring works, or group study sessions. And then I mentioned previously the College Reading and Learning Association International Tutor Certification, and that's something that we had to work with the requirements to obtain this and apply. It was actually a year-long process, but it's really the additional training that our tutors receive beyond our mandatory tutor training that they get when they're hired as a new tutor. But we have collaborated with various offices on campus to offer a variety of workshops from working with students with learning disabilities, study skills, time management, how to work with difficult or challenging people. Counseling Center has done some excellent training on stress management and how to identify some issues that students may be having and make an appropriate referral and try to get them support if there's other personal issues that may come up, those sorts of things. So we're very proud. As I said, we're certified by the College Reading and Learning Association. We just renewed for 3 years, so we're pretty proud of that. Another aspect, as I mentioned, the Writing Center. We still offer writing support. It's probably up there with math in one of our most used service here in the Learning Commons. And we have 40 undergraduate and graduate writing consultants. And these are all individual appointments, so students do need to make an appointment. They can do that by calling or emailing or coming to our front desk or filling out the form online. But these are all 50-minute appointments. And we also work with students from even the beginning of when they get the assignment. They don't have to bring in a draft at all. They could come in and sit down with one of our writing consultants and tell them I have this project, I have to do this research, and they will then do some brainstorming with them and try to narrow their thoughts and get them to where they know what they need to research and what they want to focus their research on. We also have a great relationship with the librarians here. They have research assistants here on the first floor right by our office, so students can also meet with them and learn the tools within the library to do research either online or within the library here at BGSU. The writing, it's not an editing service, and actually we don't do edits for students. We basically, as our writing consultant will say, we want to teach students how to write, and after seeing them a few times, we hope they learn the skills to become proficient themselves and don't need our services anymore, which is kind of contradictory. But we'd like to teach them the skills necessary to be good writers themselves and hopefully use those tools, lifelong writing skills. But we also offer online writing consultations, and that we do that in two different ways. We have a link on our webpage through the writing link for students that they can upload a paper electronically and submit that to our office, and then we have writing consultants that do those electronically each morning. They'll look through the papers and make comments and suggestions and give the writer feedback. So they can do that, but we also offer online tutoring similar to this, the Google Collaborate, but we use Illuminate, so it's almost like Skype, so the students can see each other, talk, but they can share documents and actually collaborate in person, but yet online. So it's something new we started a year ago, and hopefully that'll continue to grow. Then we also offer ESOL, English as Second or Other Language Writing Consultations. So for any student that English may not be their native language, they can work with our writing consultants. We actually have a faculty member that part of her leave time is in the ESOL program is to work here as a consultant, and she's trained several of our writing consultants to work with ESOL students to help support them as well. Another service we offer is academic coaching, and this is a program we started a year ago, and we actually have undergraduate and graduate coaches that will meet with students, and again, these are by appointments as well. But we started the program in an effort to support students. Initially, it was to work with students with learning disabilities, autism, Asperger's syndrome, and we collaborated with the School of Intervention Services on campus through the College of Education, as well as the Disability Services Office here on campus, and put together the training program with faculty from the School of Intervention Services on a variety of issues surrounding learning disabilities, autism, Asperger's syndrome. But we also all felt it would be a beneficial program for any student, so we don't just limit it to students that may have diagnosed learning disability. It's really for any student. We actually have a student this semester who has a 3.8 GPA, and he just likes to come in and work with someone and make sure he's staying on task and organized. So we don't limit it to any certain population. Any student can take advantage of the coaching, but these are students that will work, as I said, individually. They work with the students on time management, so they will at the beginning of their meetings have them map out their entire semester and when they have assignments, due and exams, and then each week they work with them on coming up with a study strategy for the week. They map out a weekly calendar of things that they need to do to keep up on their schoolwork. And they also have some strategies for studying, similar to flashcards, some techniques that they use with students, and also some reading comprehension skills and strategies. So it's been a very popular program. We weren't sure what the program would bring, but we launched it a year ago, spring semester, and had close to 80 students take advantage of the academic coaches, and we're close to 100 now students that come in and work with coaches. And they can work once a week. Some come twice a week to work with the same coach. We had a student or two that actually came 3 times a week, so we don't really limit the number of times that they come in per week. It's just whatever the needs are. And I know there's a way for you to ask questions, but you can write those. I think Morgan here is monitoring the questions, but I do also want to take you through our website, as I mentioned, and show you some of the important links. So this is our web page, BGSU Learning Commons, and as you can see, right there is the drop-in tutor link, which will take you to, on our banner, right to the tutor schedule. But we also have on the left side information on all of our programs. So for example, the academic coaching, there's actually a link here to request coaching, so the students can click on that, fill out a request form, and that gets emailed to our office. Pretty simple form for them to submit. The math and stats, this lists all the courses that are generally taught all hours of operation, and then some of the other additional courses that have math components in them and statistics components. As I mentioned, under the subject tutoring is where we have a tutor request form. So students can come right here, fill out the tutor request form. Again, just submit that. It comes electronically, and generally within 24 hours we've got a response back to the students, if not sooner, because those emails are being monitored throughout the day. And then our drop-in tutoring, where we list all of the subjects that are offered for drop-in basis. Some are specific, some might be just general, like history. We don't have a specific course, it's just someone that can tutor in the majority of history courses. But if they click on that, they'll see when the tutor's available. So here it's Monday 6 to 8, Tuesday 10 to noon, and Thursday 11 to 2. Some are more specific, such as Management 3000. So that is a tutor that will work with students on Management 3000 in particular. And as you can see, we do have several language courses: Russian, German, Spanish, French, Latin. So it's pretty easy for students to find the services here through the drop-in tutoring, and they can actually print off the page too if they'd like to have a hard copy to carry around with them. And then I mentioned also with supplemental instruction, we currently have 23 courses, and they're listed by the subject, and also the professor's name is in all caps. So it's really so students in a different biology 2040 class taught by a different faculty member obviously won't have the SI instructor, so they wouldn't benefit from this, but those in the appropriate section could. And as I mentioned, then they list the days, the time, and the location for those SI sessions. As you can see, it's a lot of science and math. We do have food and nutrition with Stacy Freeworth, one of the faculty members here, and she actually gives extra credit for students that come to the SI sessions. Because supplemental instruction is, and all of our services, we don't report to faculty members who comes for their class, tutoring, etc. And SI is set up really as an anonymous program, so students aren't required to sign in or log in, and faculty members aren't notified of who's coming unless they sign a waiver. So students within the food and nutrition do sign a waiver that we can release information because the instructor does give extra credit, but it's really to keep that relationship so students don't feel like they're going to be looked down upon or graded worse because the faculty member knows that they're going for extra help or tutoring or through supplemental instruction. So it's an anonymous program. And as you can see, we do have several math sections, and sometimes, not this semester, but in the fall, we usually have geography as well, weather and climate. And let's see, our staff directory if you need to contact any of us. There we are, minus our pictures, which we're working on. This is our new university converted over to a new platform for web pages, the CMS Adobe, so we got transitioned over. And I also wanted having some technical difficulty here. I'm sorry. Okay. Just also wanted to show you our Facebook page. If you'd like to like us, we do put a lot of information there that you could share with your student while they are here. And as I mentioned, we do post some things on the parents page, so you may see some of those. I've actually had parents tag their son or daughter within some of our events to try to encourage them to come over to our Learning Commons. But please like us on Facebook, and I think that's probably it, unless there's questions I could answer for you. Okay, well, thank you, and please let us know if you ever have questions. Just call, email, or stop by. Thank you.